This is readalinedooalinecooking.com. My name is Mike Pierce. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my home. Today we are going to start making pork chops with peppers and capers from the cookbook Molto Italiano by Mario Batali. And the reason I'm saying start is the first step in this recipe is to brine our pork chops. So we got to make the brine, and then when it cools we put the pork chops in, toss them in the fridge. Okay? So let me read the ingredients real fast and then we'll get started. So here we go. 4.5 quarts of water, 1 cup kosher salt, 1 cup packed brown sugar, 12 black peppercorns, 4 bay leaves, 6 pork rib chops, salt and freshly ground black pepper, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil, 3 bell peppers, 1 each of red, green, and yellow, cored, seeded, and cut into thin strips, 5 bulb onions, green tops reserved and sliced, bulbs cut into rings, 1/4 cup of black olives pitted and chopped, 1 tablespoon of hot red pepper flakes, 1 tablespoon of capers with their brine, and 1 cup of dry white wine. We're going to make a few modifications to that. Number 1, my pork chops are regular, they don't have a bone in them. I couldn't find any. Number 2, I'm making 2 pork chops, not 6. So we're going to try and make this whole recipe about 1/3 of the size. So here we're going to do step 1 today. So here's step 1. In a small saucepan, combine 2 cups of the water, the kosher salt, brown sugar, peppercorns, and bay leaves, and bring to a boil over high heat, stirring to dissolve the salt and sugar. Pour into a large pot or other container and add the remaining 4 quarts of cool water. Stir to mix well, add the pork chops, cover and refrigerate overnight. That's what we're doing. Okay, so let's get started. As always, 1 on me, 1 on the down angle. We'll switch between whatever's interesting, I guess. So it calls for 1 cup of packed brown sugar, so we're going to do 1/3 of a cup. Should be about right. I don't have kosher salt either. 2 stores today. Couldn't find it. Someday I'll get some. That's what's supposed to go in that bamboo thing over there, is salt. Okay, so I got the salt in, I got the brown sugar in. It's calling for 4 bay leaves. We'll do 2, because there's no easy third here. There's 2. 12 peppercorns. I don't know. I'll do 4, I guess. 4 or 5, whatever. I don't think it's that precise. Okay. And we'll go with some water. 1 cup of water. And there we are. So that's on high heat. All we're going to do is get it to boil. And once it boils and everything is dissolved, let it cool a bit, toss in a little more water, and then I'm going to put it in this with some with my pork chops, and we'll let them go overnight. So we'll be right back. All right, well, we're done. Just turn this off. Here's what our brine looks like so far. That's probably not the best angle. Try this one. And it's just, looks fine. Doesn't really smell like anything. So we'll just pour that in. And it tells you to add the rest of the water. So there's our water. Okay, as you might be able to see on the down angle camera, I tossed a few ice cubes in to get this thing to cool down, because the last thing I want to do is put my pork chops into warm water or warm brine, because they may potentially cook a little. So now with those ice cubes in, it's nice and cool. So we can put our pork chops in. Here we go. There's 1. Oh, apparently I'm doing 3 pork chops. I didn't know there was 3 in here. Oh well. Very nice. Whoops, wrong lid. There we go. All right, well, we're all set here. This is going to go in the fridge, and tomorrow, about the same time, I'll take it out and we'll get cooking. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, welcome back. Here are our pork chops. They've been brining and marinating or whatever. We'll get to them in a minute. We need to continue prepping the rest of our ingredients, and there's not too much we have to do. First things first, you'll notice that I forgot to get the green one. I got an orange one instead. So what we need to do with this is Open all these things up. We're only going to use about half of each one. Remove the core, remove the seeds, and then cut it into strips. One down, two to go. Well, we're done with that. Let's move on to the onions. Black olives. So it wants a quarter cup of black olives. We're doing about half that. So that'd be an eighth of a cup, which I don't actually have a measuring for. So we'll just take some. Probably about a third of this thing, if I'm guessing. Would be about right. Should be about right. One tablespoon of crushed red pepper. We'll do half a tablespoon, since we're doing about half the recipe. It wants 1 tablespoon of capers, and they're brine. This is really dumb. About right. Brine. There we go. All right, moving on. Here's our pork chops. They're still brining. Let's dump the brine and pat them dry. Pork chop number 2, gaining on it. Pork chop number 3. It says to season both sides with salt and pepper, and then to dredge them in flour. All-purpose flour. Okay, well, I'm a little messy. I got to move a camera and turn on the saute pan, and we'll move on to the next step. Be right back. Welcome back. Move the camera, cleaned up a bit, and the next step is to saute our pork chops in olive oil, and then we move on from there. So that's what we're doing. Got the heat on. I think the pan's pretty much warm. Now we can put our olive oil in. Well, let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're probably good enough. Hopefully we can fit all 3. Yep, just barely. It says to saute them until golden brown and then turn over and do it again, and they say it takes about 7 minutes per side. So that's what we're doing. Alrighty, well, that's 7 minutes aside. So what they want you to do is take them off and put them on a plate. So we'll do that. Okay, that is fine. Except I don't want those anymore. Now we need to put the rest of this stuff in. It wants me to scrape a bit, but I think I need the red wine first. Okay. Well, it looks pretty terrible to me, but hopefully it'll be better than it looks. It says to put the pork chops back in. Make a little room. There's one there. One over there. Okay, so it told us to take the pork chops out, put them on a plate. Then it says add the peppers, onions, olives, red pepper flakes, capers, and stir to loosen the brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Problem is I had a lot of black bits, not a lot of brown bits. It says add the wine, bring to boil. Done that. Lower the heat. Did that. And place the pork chops in the pepper mixture and simmer for 10 minutes. And there we go. My worry is I had a lot of black bits and not a lot of brown bits. So it just looks like a mess to me. But you never know. If it tastes good, it won't matter. It smells pretty good. So that's nice. I ran out of liquid and had 5 minutes left. So we'll just use the rest of the bottle. Well, it doesn't look the best, but it smells ridiculously good. So I'm cautiously optimistic. And then stir in this, which is the green onions. Perfect, yeah. That's just about right. All right, we're about set. I am going to move my camera, assemble something, and we'll see what we got. All right, well, I just assembled it. I don't know if it's any good, but it looks really nice. And here it is on the down angle. I don't know. It really does. I don't know if the camera really captures it. It's a nice looking dish. Now what we got to find out is if it's any good. Okay, well, let's just try a bell pepper. Tastes like a bell pepper, but has some nice flavor with it. Let's try the pork chop. A little green onion with it. There we go. That's really nice. I got lucky because you can't really tell that it had a lot of black instead of brown on the bottom of that pan. It doesn't look perfect, but it tastes really good. So I'd recommend this recipe. I don't know how you'd avoid the black part. Maybe more olive oil. Maybe your olive oil needs to be hotter before you put the pork chops in. Maybe I screwed that up. Maybe in a non-stick pan it would work better. I don't know. But I'm really happy with this. And I just wish I had some pasta to go with it and maybe a little bit of gravy. That would be just spectacular. So, once again, if you like the video, please like the video. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. Now and then go up to the website, readalinedolineCooking.com. See if there's anything interesting up there. Check the recipe page, the about page, whatever. Until next time, thank you so much. You guys have a great night. Bye-bye.